Disclaimer. We are two regular guys who love to talk Bone Thugs and Harmony. We do not represent Bone Thugs or any Bone affiliate. We are also not Bone Thugs experts. The views and information you hear in this podcast may be based on personal opinion. Please feel free to leave corrections and clarifying information in the comments. And enjoy.
East 99 is where you find us like an where we come from, so right.
All right, Beyond the Harmony, Mo Thug, Best of, Greatest Hits, 2 CD, some news that just came out. Lazy Bone put it out, I believe, on Instagram. Big Tune hit me up, letting me know about it. And we definitely had to make a conversation about this for Beyond the Harmony to discuss what could possibly be on this Greatest Hits for a double disc Greatest Hits Best of.
Yeah, it's, hey, let me tell you, it's wild to me because I saw them put up that they were doing a best of, and that was, let me put that up. That had to have been earlier this week. And all he put up was the cover, and it basically looks like the first Mo Thugs album, and it says the best of Mo Thugs coming soon. And I was like, okay, cool. And then in the comments on there, he says there's too many hit songs, and I'm going to have to do another one. And within a day, he puts up another cover, and this one looks more like the Mo Thugs Mothership, and it says the best of Volume 2. And these are all going to iTunes, Amazon, Spotify. It says anywhere digital. And you know that's a big deal because, can you I don't even think you can go to Amazon and listen to the clips of any Mo Thugs. Who owns the Mo Thugs? Lazy says they're doing a special edition CD at his website, which is lazygear.com. And it's mind-blowing to me that people are still putting out CDs, but I think if you can do it with any group of fans, it's going to be Bone fans because they want to collect it. In fact, they would probably be pissed off if there wasn't a CD.
Just wondering what the criteria is going to be to decide what is Mo Thug, because, I mean, on the Greatest Hits album, there were a few Mo Thug tracks on there, and I'm wondering, as they're releasing a Greatest Hits or a Best of, would songs like Shots to the Double Glock be considered a Mo Thug track, or Mo Thug Family Tree, or even songs without Mo Thug members, but it's all Mo Thug on The Art of War? It's called It's All Mo Thug. Nobody from Mo Thugs outside of the Bone Thugs are on it, but I wonder if those 3 songs are qualified as part of the criteria.
I don't.
And where does it begin and end?
I don't think so. I think what it's gonna be, because I've been thinking a lot about what this is gonna be, because in my mind I was like, how in the world can you possibly get 2 best of Mo Thugs albums? And I love Mo Thugs. I think Mo Thugs is my favorite thing. I was upset when Thug Line was a thing. When Crazy Bone started Thug Line, I was pissed off. I didn't want him to leave the Mo Thugs thing. I love Mo Thugs, but I was like, how the fuck do you get 2 of these? And I think what it's going to be is limited to the four Mo Thugs albums. So Family Scriptures, Family Reunion, the Mothership, and the Movement, and then I'm fairly certain it will have the Poetic Hustlers and 2 True, and I don't think it's gonna go further than that. All that other stuff, Mo Thugs West and all that was like spin-off guys and guys like Kaz and shit like that. I'm calling this shot, but I think it's comprised of that. And maybe is there any Mo Thug soundtrack songs? I thought Lazy and Felicia did a song for a soundtrack.
Yeah, and I believe they did, and I think there may have been 1 or 2 other Mo Thug tracks that made it on soundtracks, including I'm not positive, but I think maybe Mighty Mo Thug, and I think even a Big Sloan track might have been on a soundtrack. I'm not positive though.
Right.
So
probably those, but I don't think that it's going to be anything outside of that. No Mo Thug West shit. I don't think they'll probably include anything from, like, I don't think they're gonna include the Mo Thug songs from like Art of War. I think it's gonna be just that. I kind of want to put together, because I think what we try to do right now is try to construct the track list for both of them off our guesses.
Yeah, and just as a trivia tidbit, I'm counting 15 Big Kaz albums, and regarding the soundtrack, apparently there was a movie called Glass, and unless that was the name of his album, was Glass Soundtrack Number 1, Glass Soundtrack Number 2. So I don't know if Glass was a film, but if so, a Mo Thug artist, Big Kaz, was in fact on. And then there's. I'm sorry.
I
Go ahead.
don't fucking anything Kaz does. I don't count. I count nothing that Big Kaz does as Mo Thug shit.
Not even Cheddar, because Cheddar, I think, even made it onto like one of the compilation mix albums that Bone put out, like not Beyond the Harmony, but Behind the Harmony. I think that might have been on that.
Only when he was actually with them do I count. All post leaving Bone, Kaz is all over the fucking place. He's crazy. He tells you that he owns Mo Thugs. Ask that dude, and he'll tell you Lazy Bone doesn't even own the rights to fucking probably do this.
Well, and as far as like Poetic Hustlers and Too True, I also see that Tay Smalls, he's listed in some sites as Mo Thug Records being the record label, and then apparently the Thin C may have had an album in 2004 that supposedly came out on Mo Thug Records, as well as Big Sloan, Khakis and Chucks.
Yeah. No,
And in addition to those, there's also Mo Thug Soldiers. Do you consider Mo Thug Soldiers part of the official Mo Thug line?
that was like more of a DVD thing, right? Like, I mean, I know there was a CD, but wasn't it like a DVD or?
I don't know. Well, no, that you might. I know what you're thinking of too, and yeah, there was that, and as well as the Thug TV VHS.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. I just looked it up. I don't fucking think so. I don't fucking think so. This thing's got like the Outlaws on it and Tupac. I feel like this has got to be. Have you ever listened to this? I don't think I've ever listened to this.
I think I played it for a few minutes, but it was from that period of time when like I wasn't 100% every day doing Bone. I just kind of saw that in the peripheral, and I had bought the movement, and I was like, Mo Thug Soldiers, I don't know, because I think I might have bought 100% Pure Thug Tour at one point, and I really just wanted at that point in time the official Bone Thugs members, or like the original Mo Thugs 1 and 2 members. It was just, everything was getting spread so thin at that point with Thug Line, Mo Thugs, Seven Sign, that the saturation of it, I just couldn't keep up. There was just too much going on at that point. So I didn't check out that Mo Thug Soldiers. But now that I see it, I may actually revisit that, as well as before the show, I was listening to a little bit of Busy Bone Presents Mo Thug West R&B Thugs. There's a few songs on there that sounded all right, as well as Busy Bone Presents Mo Thug West Greatest Hits, as well as Busy Bone and Lazy Bone present Mo Thug The Mixtape. And then we didn't even consider that the Thug TV VHS tape, that kind of is like a Mo Thug Greatest Hits for that time period in a way, right? Because that was primarily, they filled up a whole VHS tape with Mo Thug artists. I haven't seen that in a long time, but do you remember anything about that Thug TV VHS?
Yeah, the VHS was awesome. The VHSs were the best. The collection VHS, I mean, the collection VHS was 7 fucking trillion times more exciting to get than the collection volume 2 DVD. And the Thug, the only thing I'll say about the Mo Thug DVD, or the Mo Thug VHS, was it didn't live up to the hype that the collection VHS, I think, created.
Well, it couldn't live up to it.
Right.
But the neat part about it was, wasn't it free for a period of time? Like I feel like
had
it was like one of the greatest gifts.
I don't even remember how the fuck I got it. I thought I bought it. I thought I went to Sam Goody and bought it.
How did we even find? Like, I don't even remember how I found out about it. And I remember just receiving it thinking, I can't believe I'm getting this. This is amazing. I mean, the collection, the Bone Collection Volume 1 on VHS, which was packaged with the CD, that was like, at that moment in time receiving that, I felt like that was the greatest gift any artist in rap. Like there's, Led Zeppelin and all the rock bands, they did good things for the fans. But like in rap, nothing quite like that had ever happened that I could recall. I think like Def Jam put out a box set, but getting that collection with the VHS and the CD, that was phenomenal. Not only that, that documentary was just mind-blowing that they had.
Yeah.
That was on the tape.
I thought that was the first move towards Bone appeasing and realizing their fans wanted this shit. Because who the fuck wanted to collect Bone videos and unreleased songs and interviews and no Bone fans and probably like Wu-Tang fans, but like that wasn't regular rap shit. I think that was the first time they realized motherfuckers want this. They repeated it with the Mo Thug thing, which I think we all wanted. We wanted to know more about Mo Thugs because you got to think about the time period of the first Mo Thugs record. It's coming off the hot heels of 95 Eternal, fucking Crossroads blowing up, and it is the first step before Art of War, which had a lot of lead up as well. So this is that middle thing.
Yeah.
So people, we wanted to know more about Mo Thugs.
And not only that, at that time, I think Fleshbone's THUGS album was kind of coming out competing with it, along with Machiavelli, the Don Illuminati, 7 Day Theory, and Snoop Dogg's The Dogfather. Like that time, because it came out around November, right around November 96. I don't have the date down pat, but I remember getting that with Machiavelli, The Dogfather, and Fleshbone, thinking, man, this is like the greatest month of releases ever to get all four of those all at one time.
Family Scriptures was released November 5th of 96.
Same day as Machiavelli.
So, and just to quickly jump back to Mo Thug Soldiers, I'm going to disqualify this as well, and I'm going to base on this. It looks like a compilation, possibly a Kaz compilation. I see songs with Eve. Eve has a song on here. Fucking the Outlaws, as just their own songs. So this doesn't, even if Mo Thugs put this out, this is a strange compilation. I'm gonna disqualify that as well. I think what it's gonna be is the original 4 plus the 2 solos, and if we're guessing on the amount of tracks, I'm gonna say it's gonna be around 15 per. And this is because, if you look at the Mo Thugs albums, it's 15, 16, 17, 18. So they add an extra one every time. Trials and Tribulations was 11, and Two Trues album was 15. Jumping over and look at how they do like the collection. The collection was 14 tracks on the first one, 13 on the second one. And then their greatest hits was 12 and 14 on each disc. So I'm going to say Lazy Bone's probably going to do 15 and, probably 15 and 15. I don't think he's going to do 20, an album. 40
So
tracks.
you're thinking we're going to see 30? So that means we got to fill 30 Mo Thug tracks.
I think that's
30 of them.
I think that's realistic. I mean, do you think he's only doing like 10 or 12 or something?
I guess 30. I mean, he did say that they have so many hits, but 15 sounds a little high. 12 sounds a little too low. Maybe 14 and 13. Because how did they do
listen,
the greatest hits?
If it was 20, he could fit that all on one disc.
Yeah.
Right? We'd have one
And
disc.
that's the other part too, is that yeah, and it's funny because when we were talking before about CDs itself, that Bone fans are probably, some of the only rap fans that still want the physical hard copies of discs. So 2 physical discs. Yeah, I guess you would drop 15 per disc. That would make sense. I mean, that would be, if they were doing it for the fans, definitely drop 15 tracks per disc. And and that's the other part too, that initially we were kind of like, wow, really? They're going to do this? But I've been noticing today as I've been reading the boards since you told me about this, as a lot of the Bone has a lot of new fans. They keep adding new people that weren't around in the 90s to live through all this stuff. And these Mo Thug albums are not the easiest thing to come by. And if you didn't know about it, you'd be looking, if you were like trying to catch up with the Bone series, you'd be collecting all the albums that said Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, and you may skip over Mo Thugs because it just would never show up to you. So I've seen a lot of people today finding out, and they want to know more about it, and so they're inquiring, and I think this may turn out to be a pretty exciting thing for the new Bone fans to get to experience some of these old Mo Thug tracks, and a lot of them are definitely classics, if not greatest hits. Or best of.
I thought Mo Thugs was an easy thing to miss when it fucking happened. I remember where I was, okay? I remember being a Bone fan, and I remember somebody bringing in the Mo Thugs album and seeing it, and at the bottom it just saying featuring Bone. And I was like, featuring, but like, there were so many questions. Why the fuck doesn't it say featuring Bone Thugs-n-Harmony? Is this some rip-off group? What is this? I think it was an easy thing to miss back then. It's amazing to me now that there's these new Bone fans that don't know what it is, but, there's so much new Bone shit that I don't know. Is that fucking crazy? That I came up in an era of Bone, and I know shit that they have no idea about, and that's the vice versa. I've been out the game for new age Bone shit. At least as a hardcore fan.
Well, I liken it to, and I don't know, the young fans won't relate to this. Older fans could possibly, and that's that when we were like in high school learning about Aerosmith and Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and Van Halen, like, dabbling into rock a little bit, being lifetime rap fans, but trying to find out about the legends of rock. The older guys were looking at us like, man, you didn't live through Led Zeppelin. You didn't live through Pink Floyd. You barely lived through Van Halen. And then you find out, okay, let me catch up to just Van Halen. And then you find out, okay, well, there's Robert Plant. And then you got Eddie, what's his face? David Lee Roth. Robert Plant for Led Zeppelin, David Lee Roth for Van Halen. And finding all these spin-off projects that they did. And that's the same thing with Mo Thug, is the spin-off that turned into more spin-offs, because you had Mo Thugs and then Poetic Hustlers, Graveyard Shift that never quite came out, Too True, and then another one is Gold. Is Gold considered Mo Thug? Because Gold was like the first artist to feature Mo Thug's artist, not Bone Thugs, but Mo Thug's artist on an album.
Yeah, that was a weird situation. He was signed with a different label or something, and I think he was a Mo Thug affiliate, and I have no idea on the story, but my guess is he probably had a deal somewhere else, wanted to be with Mo Thugs, couldn't get out of the deal, and was affiliate status. But anybody that knows the fucking story, drop information in the comments if you know the real behind the Gold situation. But that's my guess. I wouldn't say.
Would you consider? I'm sorry. Would you consider those tracks that Gold did with Mo Thugs to be as part of the potential criteria for making this album?
Nah, I don't think so. And I'm going to tell you why, is because I think you're also only going to see on here shit that Lazy Bone has a direct, ownership in some way over.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think you're going to see a bunch of this other shit. And in fact, I think 1 and 2 are even in the air. Obviously they're going to be on there, but I think that's an even in the air fucking situation, because to this day I don't know who the clear owners are on that. Crazy Bone has outright said in interviews that there's Mo Thugs guys that are unhappy, that feel like they didn't get their ends on these albums, and Crazy's like, we didn't either. And if Crazy's telling you they didn't either, that's kind of a clear-cut sign they may not own these albums.
I wonder if the contracts were, especially with the Ruthless Records, because I guess the first 3, maybe even I don't know, the Movement might have came out on its own thing, but I'm pretty sure Family Scriptures and Family Reunion were Ruthless Records albums, and possibly Mo Thug 3, but maybe not. I'm looking at that one. Yeah, I don't have record labels listed. But that'd be confusing to see who has the rights to those.
When you say that, I do feel like I remember seeing the Ruthless logo on those at least on the first one, probably the second one too. Anyway, at the end of the day, I think these are 15 tracks. I think it's based on those first four. The movement is probably one of them. I say we do what we came here to do and dig into guessing this fucking track list.
Sounds good. And as we get into that, let me just also give the shout out to Graveyard Shift and Bruce Hathcock, as they were also members of, I guess, of Mo Thugs, and just keep those in mind too. I don't expect them making this cut, but just throwing those names out there as well for trivia.
Bruce was like a DJ Unique guy.
Well, yeah, and he had that little EP there.
Yeah, but that was done.
Courses.
Yeah, that was done with Unique too. That's a whole other thing I'd love to talk about sometime, is the entire DJ Unique. Unique was like the internet guy. If everybody remembers, he had a website with fucking beats, and he was selling he was like the first one putting together these Bone albums full of stuff that people hadn't heard. You could go on there and buy those Bone albums from Unique full of unreleased shit. So that's a whole other thing. But definitely Graveyard Shift. I don't think you'll see any of the Graveyard, album, because obviously it's unreleased, and I think Romeo owns that. If you go through like Wikipedia, you'll see Romeo has added himself. He added him fucking himself. He went through and added himself everywhere. And I think there's some bad blood there too. But again, that's me guessing.
Yeah, and he's got an album, Swear Not By the Mood, in 2001, Romeo Antonio. And actually, the Desperados came out with an album in 2002, Tired of Struggling, and they had a major influence on that Mo Thug 3.
I do know,
crazy.
Just as a side thing, that the Graveyard Shift album did finally see the light of day. Romeo released it as like almost his album. It was like his name / GYS is the way it was put in there. And he did release it. It was not the original version that we heard way back in the day, but it was a close to thing. So anybody listening that hasn't heard that is out there, I believe you can even go on Spotify and you can find at least this new version of it.
Yeah, and Jazz had a solo mixtape called The Underground Mixtape in 2007. Brina had a Diamond in the Rough in 2002. So this is going to be very murky waters. But we were saying 15 tracks per disc, and I guess the way we could organize this would be one disc being greatest hits and the other disc being the best of, so that it'll be easier to try to figure this out in that kind of a fashion. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'm going to do is we'll go through a disc at a time and just take what we think. I got a notepad pulled up, and I'm just going to add each track to it, and because it says it's a best of. Each one is a best of, so he's going to mix it up. We briefly talked about this in private before we came live, and my thought here is you have a solid one disc if you want a truly great best of, or you have two pretty good albums. So it's going to be mixed up. I think with him planning it this close together, you won't see all the big firepower on disc one. Like what we're saying. I think you're going to see a mix up, and it's going to take a potential, probably strong 9-star album, probably down to like a 5 on each one, just because this is going to be watered down. If it's 15 apiece, it's 30. This is going to be a little watered down.
Yeah, it would be nice if they did divide it evenly, greatest hits and best of, but that never seems to work, because whoever's, if it's a divided, you want to be able to sell both albums. And if all the meat was on one, it'd be kind of difficult to sell two. But I think anybody that's into this to purchase these, I think you'd be buying both anyway. It would be like buying the best of Tupac Thug, but not buying the best of Tupac Life. Those last two albums they put out there at the end. Imagine just having one and not both. But
just as a note to listeners too, as we talk about a best of versus a greatest hits, what we're saying there is, a best of can be, that could be anything. You could sit down and make a best of, the artist can make a best of with songs that never even fucking charted because they feel these are the best tracks. But to be a greatest hits, that's a charted, real, at least minimal. It's a single with, some kind of single push behind it, whether it's a video or radio. And that's what it needs to be a greatest hits. A best of is more like the collection 1 and 2. And I think that's the safe move here with Mo Thugs as well. You can't really say that they have a 2 disc worth of hits per se. But definitely we got 2 discs of, great songs. So, kicking it right out, you start with the first one, 1996, Family Scriptures, Mo Thugs. Again, this came out right after Eternal, setting us up for the Art of War in 97. And the obvious ones to get out here are going to be probably Take Your Time, Crazy Bone and Trey. Of course, Thug Devotion. Mo Murda. I mean, we feel like Crazy Bone's Mo Murda's got to be there as well.
Yeah, and No Pretender, Low Down Dirty Shame. I mean, those are actually this whole entire first album. In retrospect, now kind of seems like a greatest hits right here. Looking back on it, because let's just start at the top. The intro, even the intro was pretty good.
It's good.
Searching for.
I was gonna say this.
It's
good, and when I first saw him put the cover as the because this fucking greatest hits or whatever it is, the cover is just like a rehash of the original cover, and I figured you just re-release this whole thing because this is good from top to bottom. But knowing you got to pick here,
right.
Knowing you got to
let's go through the track list and see. Yeah, it's just to see how they go, if they fit or if they don't fit.
They probably use the intro. I think they use the intro on this.
So that'll count as a track too. So that will bring that 15 track album to really 14 plus an intro, but it'll still count as 15. So that kind of makes sense. Yeah, and I'd use that first intro from that first album, and then see like Searching for Peace. That's pretty much a hit. That's a Mo Thug classic right there.
Would
you agree?
I agree, but it's not bigger than like knowing that you got to like peel it back. I don't know if it makes the fucking cut when you have.
I think Searching for Peace would be a disc 2 a disc 2 track. Would you consider it a disc 2 track? I mean, because like when I say Searching for Peace, you think of, wow, okay, yeah, that's Poetic Hustlers. I know that one. I don't even have to look at the track list. I know that's Poetic Hustlers, right? Or would you not agree?
No, I agree. I mean, that song was so big, they had it on the fucking, I believe that was on the solo with a different beat as well.
And then followed up by Ghetto Blues. Again, that's not a hit, but I think it's a best of Mo Thugs. Ghetto Blues with Too True and Lazy Bone and Nico. Like, so that, again, Ghetto Blues is close to being a disc 1, but I would feel comfortable with it being on disc 2. But how do you feel about Ghetto Blues? Do you think that's a 1 or a 2?
It's one of my favorites. In my mind, it would make it. I question if it makes it. I wonder if politics of this whole thing will come into play as well. Like I wonder if Lazy Bone politics will come in. I think he's in a good place with like Too True. I don't know what like the Ken Dog situation is, but I think it's on there. I think Ghetto Blues is on there.
Would you say it's a disc 1 or a disc 2?
I don't know. Because I think he's going to mix it up. I don't think you're going to have like a fucking disc 1 that's like amazing and then the disc 2 that's mediocre. I think he's going to mix and match so that neither disc blows the other one away. But what it's going to do is kind of dumb them both down.
Right.
So I don't think, I don't fucking know. I think it'll be so mixed up that it won't matter. If it was gonna be like the best shit is on disc 1 and the okay shit is on disc 2.
Well, and it's like, and I don't know if you heard these albums yet, but last year in 2017, Thug Brothers 2, which was Crazy Bone and Young Noble, came out, as well as Crazy Bone Eternal Legend. And the track list for both of those, it could have been so much better had they kept both albums consistent with one another. But instead, it's like all those songs got jumbled between the two albums. And it's unfortunate because there could have been two solid conceptual albums. And instead, it's just two big messes. Hopefully Lazy Bone gets a chance to hear this criteria here, is think it through. And maybe it could potentially influence, but I would imagine that they already have their final track list. But we're just going through the exercise here as fans on what would make sense to the fans. So I guess we're talking like first ballot Hall of Fame, second ballot Hall of Fame in the world of Mo Thug. So on the first ballot, I guess we could figure that part out at the end. So, but Ghetto Blues is making disc 1 and disc 2, one of the two, right?
I assume.
You could agree on that?
I assume.
Yeah.
My assumption. I assume Ghetto Blues makes it before Searching for Peace, honestly.
Yeah. I'd agree.
Listen.
See, I think Ghetto Blues is a better song, but I think Search for Peace has like more marketing behind it. But Ghetto Blues, I prefer Ghetto Blues over it.
Why the fuck did they love Searching for Peace so much? On Trials and Tribulations, it's like a fucking remix or something. Like they do it again. They love that fucking song.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway,
it was a big deal.
Okay, so just so we know though, that makes, out of the first 3 songs on the first album, we're saying all 3 of them are also going to be on the fucking thing. On one of these. I don't think the Killing Fields makes it. Oddly enough, I expect not to see a lot of Graveyard Shift on this album.
See, as I was watching the Bone Boards today, Killing Fields was like one of the main ones that was mentioned as not only hopefully being on this album, but as people's favorite Mo Thug track of all time. I saw a few people mention Killing Fields. Like, if you could only choose one, people were saying Killing Fields, and I was like, wow. Because the Graveyard Shift had some sick fans out there. It was like that same group that thought Flesh was the best.
Yeah, no, they have a hardcore fan base, but I think some sort of politics may come into play here, and I think that the Graveyard Shift situation might still be touch and go, especially with so many of the members passing and not being able to okay shit. I don't know. I don't think that we'll see Graveyard Shift completely muted from 2 discs, but I don't think you'll see an abundance of them. With that being said, I'm going to say Killing Fields doesn't make the fucking cut.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, politics aside, though, would you think it would make it?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to throw that one in there with, and I'll put an asterisk by it.
If I was making it, I would put it on there. But again, though, by that standard, because we know Mo Murder is track number 5, that's saying the first 5 tracks are making it on here, and it leaves 25 tracks.
That's how good this album was. It's like, just might as well re-release it. So yeah, Mo Murder's like Tom Brady. It's first ballot Hall of Fame. Mo Murder is in the top 3.
I do expect it to be very heavy with this disc, because the cover to the second one, Volume 2, isn't a cover we've seen before. It's a new cover. But the cover to Volume 1 is just fucking Family Scriptures remixed. So I do expect it to be heavy on this first disc.
And you know what? Maybe that's what Lazy Bone meant. If he was trying to make a greatest hits and then was just going through disc 1, he was like, I might just re-release disc 1 and then a disc 2 of everything else. Kind of like that Tech 9 Ever Ready album. The first album was just him, and then it was the compilation second disc. So that's probably what Lazy thought. Because as we're going through the same exercise that he must have went through, he's probably at number 5, like, geez, the first 5 tracks, all 5 of those are going on there. And then you get to the next one, Ken Dog, Ain't No Reason.
But Mo Murda,
That's gotta be on there.
so we
Oh, yeah.
established Mo Murda is definitely, obviously, fucking on here.
Mo Murder is bona fide. Like, there's no if Mo Murder is not on it, there's something wrong. And I'm gonna highlight that on my list here. That Mo Murder is guaranteed. That's got to be on there.
I think that the reason why you may not see it on there is it's got a heavy sample, right? I mean, they've
Oh, right.
it's
But you know what?
2018.
Crazy Bones used that sample but he's used that sample so many times. He used it on Mo Murder, on Mo Murda, and then the one with the girl, what's her name? Adina Howard.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
reused it with Adina Howard. World Has Too Many Freaks. So they must have some kind of rights to that beat if they keep using it.
Yeah, I it's gonna be on there. I don't think Ain't No Reason's gonna be on there. I like Ken Dog. I don't think it's on there.
No, Ain't No Reason. Okay. I mean, that song's iconic to me as well. But
Put,
I mean,
put
politics
it on a
aside,
list.
You wouldn't have it on there.
You can put it on your list.
Okay.
I'm making a list as well. And we'll compare here at the end. We're gonna have to get down to the nitty gritty.
Right.
So put it on the list if you feel it's there. But I don't think it's gonna be there.
Okay. All right. So this is number 7. Regardless of what you feel about the song itself, it is by definition a greatest hit. Not even a best of, but Take Your Time is a greatest hit according to the charts, to Billboard charts, because it charted in the top 50. Right? What was the? Do you remember the stats on that?
Yeah, it's absolutely gonna be on there. It was in the U.S. Hot 100. It actually came in the top 50 at 45. It was number 15 on the R&B. You know, and it was the second single. They only had 2 singles, technical singles from this, and that was one of them. Take Your Time. We don't even have to get into it. It'll 1,000%. No fucking reason it wouldn't be on there. It would blow my mind if it wasn't on there.
Yeah. So this next one is the first one that I would say wouldn't make the cut definitively. Welcome to My World, Too True featuring Ken Dog. Because, I mean, not that it's a bad song, but it just doesn't stand out. It stands out, but it doesn't stand out as, like, you know, a tried and true celebrated Mo Thug track. What are your feelings on Welcome to My World?
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's not making my cut.
I don't think it's there at all.
Yeah. Okay, well, number 9 is on there for sure. This is another first ballot Hall of Famer, Thug Devotion.
Yeah, it's a great
I
fucking
mean,
song.
that's a top 3 right there. Thug Devotion. I mean, that's the one that kicked off the whole entire Mo Thugs. That was the first single video.
As a Bone fan, and I don't want to get into a big Thug Devotion conversation, but as a Bone fan, what a good fucking song at the time that came out. Like,
Did you used to see the commercial for it on the box? Like, I wanted it so bad seeing that commercial. It was just, I think it was Lazy Bones verse. Come on, magic. And then I was like, man, I couldn't wait for the album to come out. I wanted it so bad, and finally got it. And I was like pulling my hair out.
it more than
so good.
exceeded your expectations as a Bone fan. Again, coming off the Crossroads, seeing like Trey in the Crossroads video, you know, just having the little glimpses of Mo Thugs, getting the Thug Devotion video, and it had that Mo Thug feeling with the whole fucking crew, and just getting all those, you know, and I think that was a great cast for Mo Thugs to put on there. Trey, Soulja Boy, Ken Dog, you know, of course with Crazy and Lazy, but I felt like that was a good. Here's what Mo Thugs is.
People were feeling they were feeling so good about Soulja Boy. They were talking about making him like the 6th member of Bone at some point.
Bro, you know, that it's such a shame. So much talent from Soulja Boy. Such a talented guy. But without question, Thug fucking Devotion has got to be on there.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we got Here With Me by Trey. I don't even really remember that one.
Yeah,
Like,
it's standard
all.
R&B shit. I don't think it makes it I'll tell you another reason why I don't think it's gonna make it. Trey was great. I think Trey was better than Felicia. Felicia, I don't know how you say her name anymore. But I don't think you'll see Lazy Bone highlight the fuck out of Trey like that. I think you'll see, again, Take Your Time, Crazy Bones on it and shit. I don't think you're gonna see that song on there. Yeah, I just don't think you'll see it.
Was there any rumors if Trey had like any kind of album coming out? I wouldn't call it a solo album because they're a group, but was there ever even any rumblings that they may get an entire album? Was it just these singles and plus the features that they had?
I would assume that they thought they were going to be the money ticket, and when Take Your Time, even though it did well, you got to remember that Thug Devotion came in at 29. Thug Devotion got to number 14 on the U.S. R&B charts and number 6 on the rap charts. Okay, it even actually broke the Rhythmic Top 40. So with those numbers, Take Your Time, it came in at 45, and it actually only came in at 15 on the R&B charts. It's didn't even do as good as Thug Devotion. So I think that was kind of like the test. I think they thought they were going to be the money. Yeah, I think Bone has always tried to I think they know R&B is the accessible big money. That's why they've done so many Mariah Carey songs and shit. So I do think that was the original thing. What made them decide Too True was the fucking meal ticket? I have no idea.
Yeah, how did Too True get that album, the complete album, and others didn't?
Poetic Hustlers made sense. Poetic Hustlers made sense why they got an album. Too True, it blows my mind to this fucking day.
Yeah, that was puzzling. I mean, it was. I guess maybe they were experimenting with a female duo. Because Salt and Pepper had a big run for it, and there wasn't too much there weren't that many other duo female groups. There was female solo artists. There was that one group, the Rhyme Syndicate or whatever they were called, but not too many. I guess maybe the Bone Camp felt like they had something unique with 2 female rappers, and were test piloting that template. And I guess it went gold, right? Did it go gold?
Too True record?
Yeah.
No, the Too True record fucking I think did the worst of anything. It was in the Billboard Top 200 for a week, and it came out at 194, and then it just dropped off.
I felt like it had low distribution. I think it didn't have enough promotion either, and I don't know if that was on Too True to have to make that happen, but I didn't see it too often. I think I saw Ballers Flossing a few times on TV, but not enough to really push an album.
Yeah, it was a hard. I remember as a collector trying to get the fucking CD. It was a hard CD to get. It was a harder disc to add to your collection. So, yeah. All right, Trey. Yeah, the Trey song isn't cutting it. I don't think. I mean, there's a few of these that I'm saying aren't going to cut it that I may scrape back to once we get through these other discs. But as of now, there's no fucking way that's cut.
Yeah. No. I do have a quick question regarding the Thug Devotion music video. How did you feel about the campy effects on it at the time? Were you okay with it?
Yeah, I was okay with it. Again, if you're a young fan or a new fan even, you're probably look at this corny shit. I think at that time, even though there were things better at that time, I think you were like, this is fucking, we had just had Eazy-E in the fucking clouds and walking with angels and shit.
Yeah.
So we were pretty much
and
down
it was
for
a
anything.
picnic. And it was a picnic song, and it had that kind of, they were playing baseball, and it was that happy period of time when it was all about positivity and being happy. But yeah.
And they did shit with the sky, and listen, Bone has always been a different universe, the way DC and Marvel are different universes. They kind of made their own world with their intros and their imagery and shit. So when I saw that, I just kind of took it as, we're in the Bone world right here. So this was nothing. First of the month, you think of the first of the month video, that was fucking, as good as it is, those effects and shit, that's corniness at its next level. That's, it's me in tech education class in fucking like 8th grade.
And I'd love to, on the whole universe they created, that the Mo Thug logo kept consistent with the Bone Thugs and Harmony logo. I thought that was a nice touch. It made it feel like it was just carrying on to this, kind of like the Avengers, versus just watching an Iron Man film.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought they did such a great. It's such a shame that Mo Thugs went the way it did, because the introduction here and the imagery and if you're a new fan and you're not familiar with CDs or you're not into it like that, I distinctly remember getting the CD and just looking at the artwork and seeing Crazy Bone under the disc, and then you saw like the desert shot with all the Mo Thugs, and you're like, is that Flesh and Bone? Like, you in your mind you were trying to put together like, okay, you got no Busy Bone in here, who are the bosses, what's going on, what's fucking Flesh and Bone's role, because the internet wasn't the way it is now. You couldn't just Google some shit. You couldn't just Wikipedia some shit. We had to put this shit together and guess what all this shit meant.
Those two art panels of the whole Mo Thugs, all in the soldier lineup with Flesh in the front, and that one you mentioned of Crazy underneath the CD case. I think like that particular picture is what began as we created CDs over time. Like having Crazy underneath the disc tray like that. Going forward, I was like, man, any CD I make is going to have that under the CD artwork. Because I think prior to that, the CD trays were just black or gray and you couldn't see through it. If I remember correctly, that might have been my first CD that had a clear tray where you saw underneath it and it had that picture of Crazy on the boards.
Eternal.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yep. That's right.
So, but yeah, no, it was such a great, again, it was a great feeling. I mean, even the cover, you were like, okay, this pyramid and these ruins in the background, and this shit doesn't mean shit, but you didn't know that back then. It had the Alpha and the Omega, you know what I mean? Like, this shit probably didn't mean anything, but whoever was in charge of the artwork and imagery was on it.
Oh yeah.
So
they were on it. Yeah.
Yeah, they did great.
So we got Player in Me by Ken Dog.
Yeah, I definitely I like that song a lot, but I mean, if I'm saying Ain't No Reason isn't making it, I don't think Player in Me is making it. If one of them was gonna make it, it's probably Ain't No Reason.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could go with that. I could go with I think one of those two Ken Dog tracks are making it, and if I had to guess one of the two, I would probably guess Ain't No Reason.
Okay. All right.
Probably.
Let's go with it. I do agree one of them is probably going to make the fucking cut.
Because people have a soft spot in their heart for Ken Dog. Ken Dog, like Wishbone, both decided to not do the solo album route. And I think a lot of people were expecting Ken Dog to be that next Mo Thug artist with a solo album. I just didn't think he could carry a whole album.
Bro, I thought Ken Dog deserved it because Ken Dog hung in the longest.
As I'm thinking about Player in Me though, this beat is so much iconic. Yeah, I think Player in Me makes it, and Ain't No Reason does. I don't know, man.
I'm a bigger
fan
fan.
Me.
I'm a bigger fan of Player in Me.
Yeah.
But again,
I'm writing that one down.
The only reason I say Ain't No
but,
Reason
yeah.
is because that the first 9 songs really rule that fucking disc. But either one. Pick one. I'm cool with them both. I don't think it's Ain't No Reason, but I'll also be cool with it.
Yeah. I think Play in Me makes it. Ain't No Reason maybe doesn't. Yeah. All right, this next one is like almost the greatest hit. No Pretender. That I think that's a first ballot. And as far as Mo Thugs goes, like not in the whole Bone lineage, but as far as Mo Thugs goes, No Pretender is certainly a fan favorite. I mean, if not a top five, it's always mentioned when you think of Mo Thugs, people think of No Pretender. What do you think?
It would be such a miss if that wasn't on one of these two discs.
Yeah.
What a miss.
Yeah. No Pretender. That's first ballot. That's on there. All right, Rumors and War by Graveyard Shift and Fleshbone.
I don't think it makes it.
Yeah. It's funny because you look at that lineup and you're like, that's got to be, but I barely remember that song. And then
I don't think it makes it, because I think of and maybe it does because Lazy's pretty partial to his brother, so maybe it does. If I remember though, we got like a fucking disc coming up that I think has like a Flesh and Bone solo or something. Yeah, Riot's on the second disc, and I think Riot's definitely gonna make it. So yeah, I don't think Rumors and War makes it. I don't think the Too True song called Too True makes it. I think that's not making it either. And the reason for that is I do think the Ballers Flossing is going to definitely be on there. So I don't think we're going to see two True solos.
I'm thinking about Rumors and War now, and it's one of those ones that grows on you over the years. That one, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Rumors and War. Like, serious, because if you re-listen to it, it's it defines, in my opinion, Rumors and War defines the Mo Thug sound, not the Bone Thug sound, but Rumors and War defines, to me, the part of that Mo Thug sound. It's not my favorite track, but it's like, how Cypress Hill has their own unique sound. I think Rumors and War even though it's not the best track that they have, it's like if it's not on there and people got introduced to Mo Thug and they didn't get Rumors and War, I don't know if they get the full picture. I could be wrong, but
if you had to pick, because there's only two songs that you can consider Graveyard Shift songs on here, it's Killing Fields and Rumors and War. Because I think even the verbiage in the track out says that they feature Flesh and Bone on that. If you're picking one of those two, it's definitely Rumors and War, just because they're not going to pass on the Flesh and Bone song for a GYS solo. Again, I don't think you're seeing either of those. But nothing would blow my mind at this point, except for no fucking way they're putting this Too True song on there.
Oh yeah, no, that Too True song is not happening. If Rumors and War would be on it, in my mind it would be a disc 2. It's not a disc 1, but it could possibly make disc 2. If we don't have enough tracks, I think it's a disc 2. But yeah, this next one though, number 15, Low Down, that's disc 1. That's top 5 Mo Thugs all time in my opinion. I played Low Down Dirty Shame so many times. Like that was like permanently in my car.
We don't even have to talk. I actually went through at the beginning and wrote down just on this disc actually, what I think we're gonna pick, and that was definitely on my list. No fucking way. Why would you skip that? The only reason you'd skip that song is if politics comes into play.
Yeah, it'd be a tragedy if Lowdown was not on it. That was the standout track after, you had Thug Devotion. I'd listen to Thug Devotion and then I would skip directly to Lowdown. And first Mo Murder would play, then I'd skip to 9 and I'd skip to 15. Like those 3 were my staples for the album, like my top 3 favorites. But Lowdown's got to be on it. It's got to. And I was going to say, so track 16, Family Scriptures, I think this is a massively slept on. I don't think people talk about this song a lot. I think this song is heavily forgotten. Even at the time, I don't think this was a huge song, which always blew my mind because I love this song. It embodies every piece of Mo Thugs at the time. In my mind, there's no way this isn't on there, but I'm going to tell you right now that it would not surprise me if for some reason this wasn't on there. I'd be blown away because if anything, this is the whole group at the time, right? I mean, I think
Absolutely.
everybody was represented on this one.
Absolutely.
So that's got to be on there.
This is the whole thing. I just remember it not being a huge fucking deal. The way I felt like it should be.
Yeah.
Like I always felt like this was slept on. Like this embodies a posse cut. This is better. You know, to me, this was better than Thug Devotion because this was everybody. This was everything.
Yeah.
We had Lazy coming
Yeah.
through. Lazy dropped a classic. You know, he at that time we hadn't heard Lazy Bone rehash a million verses. Okay, so when he rehashed it. When he rehashed it on Family Scriptures, you were like, oh shit. Like, you didn't hate it. You loved it. You loved it. You didn't hate it. You loved it. You didn't start hating Lazy Bone doing that shit until later when you thought he was living up to his name and actually being lazy about shit.
Yeah.
But when he did it on this, I was like, fuck yes. Fuck yes.
To have a Mo Thug's greatest hits or best of without Family Scriptures, that would be the dumbest thing in the world. This Family Scriptures has got to be even on the first disc, just because it's the whole group. It's the most. It's the definition of Mo Thugs.
I just want you to know if it's truly 15 songs, okay, so we're saying 30. If it's truly 30 over 2 discs, you just picked 11 of them, or we picked 11 of them.
Yeah.
But I mean that's not bad because the water gets fucking pretty deep from here.
6, 8, 10, 12. I picked 13 of them. I picked 13 of the 16 tracks on Family Scriptures. Yeah.
I have 11. I'm not sure where our inconsistencies were there.
Well, because you selected only one Graveyard Shift and only one Ken Dog, whereas I put them both on.
Okay. So
yeah.
what were the three you didn't take? Too True.
I didn't. So yeah, Too True was out of there. That other Trey song, not Take Your Time, but the other one.
Yeah.
So one of the Treys, one of the Too Trues, and which other one? Take Your Time. Welcome to my world. Yeah, Welcome to My World.
Yeah.
So 2 tracks by Too True, and 1 by Trey. So the girls got kicked out. Too
Sorry.
bad.
Too True. They're cool, by the way. Cool motherfuckers. I've been able to over the course of probably fucking since they started this Mo Thug shit till now, I've had the ability to speak to each of what I consider 3 members because I think Archie was a huge part of the Too True team, and he still is. I think they still do shit. I think he still is, and I've been able to briefly talk to all 3 of them. Very very cool people, but in terms of Mo Thugs, I fucking and it's probably because you got to think of so much harmony in this, and sometimes the Too True broads just fucking annoying high pitched shit, not like Busy Bone annoying high pitched, like good, like I don't know, they killed me sometimes. So yeah, I kept Rumors and War, and I also kept Playing Me,
Right.
and I chopped the other two.
And Archie Blaine, if I remember the liner notes correctly, I think he had a hand in some of the production on the Bone Enterprise album.
Yeah, maybe. Fuck, I don't remember. I wouldn't be surprised though. They always talk about how fucking long they've been down with everyone. So
You know what's amazing? I'm looking at the length of this Mo Thug Family Scriptures, and it actually exceeded the original CDs because it comes in at 74 minutes and 51 seconds. If you remember those first CDRs, they were only 74 minutes, and then later on the 80-minute CDs came out. So they gave us overcapacity with this first Mo Thugs album. And looking at it now, that I picked 13 out of 16 tracks. That they delivered quality right there. So I mean, props to Bone. That's why he's got to have 2 albums. It's like it makes sense now why Lazy had to do a double CD. So going through the exercise, it now makes sense. Whereas earlier today, I'm like, is he out of his mind? How's he going to do 2 albums? So let's see. We ready to go on to Chapter 2 Family Reunion?
Yeah. I think we're solid enough. We at least got it solid enough that if anything, we know it's just cutting back from here. I don't think we missed anything on that one.
Yeah, and on my sheet here, I have mine divided by disc 1 and disc 2. And on my disc 1, I only have 7 tracks, which also includes the intro. So 6 full songs plus the intro on my disc 1 and 6 on disc 2 so far.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Because I'm dividing it by like bona fide for sure, like absolutely have to make it, and then I get it if these make it on kind of things.
Cool.
So,
all right, we're coming up on the first hour break. Make sure you check out hour 2 in the next video and subscribe to Beyond the Harmony, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, beyondtheharmony.com.